something a little bit different today. I want to talk to you about the proposed changes to the NDIS. The government announced some sweeping changes, and of course there is pushback, there are concerns, and there are fear-mongering, so let's talk about it. Now, the NDIS was designed originally to help the most vulnerable of people with severe disability. It is a good scheme, it is a good initiative, yeah, but it hasn't really worked the way it was intended to, and it has been costing a lot of money and is unsustainable. So this is one of the reasons why we need reform, because if we want to be able to continue to provide much needed services for those who need it the most, we have to make sure that this is a sustainable setup. And one of the proposed changes that I love is that they are going to start assessing someone's eligibility for the scheme based on their needs rather than just a diagnosis. This is really good because just having a diagnosis doesn't tell you anything about what the person's need. For example, someone who was born with spina bifida, they can be someone who can look after themselves. They can walk, they can run, they can exercise, they can drive a car, they can self-care, and they have some unique health needs that they need help with. And they can be someone who use a wheelchair and need more care. So the name itself doesn't tell you anything. It doesn't give you any information about what a person's needs are. And so assessing by needs is fair. It's just fair. And the thing is, when you have any system that offers services that people can apply for, people are going to go and get what they can. It's human nature. Like, I used to have veteran patients who would max out their quota every year because they know they can, because it is written that, as frequently as every once a year, they can have like a new electric hot pack, new walking stick, new shoes, new TENS machine. And they would just get it because they can, and it just, they pile up in the cupboard at home, not because they need a new one, but because they can. And it's just, I suppose, human nature. When there will always be people, I'm not saying everyone does this, of course not everyone does this, but there will always be people who would rot the system. And so making sure that only the people who need the care gets the care is a really good thing. And then the other thing that I hear is that they are going to require registration, more providers to be registered before they can provide care that gets paid under the scheme. There's been some pushback on this, and this is also a good thing, because like the people who need really a lot of care, you are getting care in your home, and you would want, right, to people before they come into your home, you want them to be properly vetted, wouldn't you? You want them to be a decent human. We have heard horror story of abuse by carers, people who take the money and the person who needs the care never got the care, right? Awful horror stories. So we want to make sure that the person coming into your house to help you are a decent human being and that they are suitably qualified. That's what the scheme is supposed to do. The scheme is not supposed to pay for your daughter to come and help you shower, take you to the shops, and then get paid for it. It's just not designed for that. And if your family member is your carer, then they may be eligible for the carer's pension, right? They are two separate things. The NDIS funds something completely different. And again, there are people who would intentionally rot the system, and there are also people who unintentionally double dip because they don't understand the rules, because the rules, to be fair, like the government is not good at telling people what these things are for. And, I won't digress. I was going to say something else. But anyhow, I was going to say that if the government had a better messaging campaign about the what was that thing called? Oh, sorry, perimenopause took it. The Voice, is it called The Voice? The referendum that apparently the nation, the No Fear campaign won. anyhow, I believe a big part of it is because the government never told us what is actually supposed to be, so the fear mongering worked. So that's why we need to talk about these things. So fear mongering can't work. So the having better vetting for people who come into your care is good. Letting people know what the scheme is there for, who is eligible, and what alternative options there are for people. And I know people are concerned about missing out, and they are proposing changes that the state is going to pull some of this weight and have different services that are catered for different people. This is also a good thing because the NDIS, again, is designed for people who with the most severe of disability, right? So if you are needing milder care, that scheme was never made for you, my friend. And we want to make sure that, high need people have their need, medium need people have their needs met, and low need people also have their needs met. And the same system can't provide it for everybody. You need specific care. People who work in the high care industry, they know what these people need, and they're better able to provide people with what they really need because they understand this is their niche. Because then the medium care people, they will also understand these people's is their niche, right? So you need to have different level of services for different people with different needs. And the Thriving Kid program sounds really promising because a lot of children, they need help, they need support, but the NDIS is not the right tool. There's not the right place to give them that kind of support. The NDIS is supposed to be there for those with the highest level of needs. So if your child needs the kind of support that can be provided for in like a group therapy setting, your child was never an intended recipient of the NDIS. So you're actually not missing out. And the fact is that when we can be clearer to make sure the right people are in the right services, then no one would miss out. Because at the moment, there's probably a lot of money that's spent on people who is not designed to be captured by the NCIS and NCIS. That's a program I like watching, the NDIS. Yes, so when someone who is in the system who is actually never meant to be there, it means someone who is supposed to be in the system is missing out, right? So all these reforms is going to hopefully clean up a lot of this mess, that to make sure the right people get the right care and the right service comes in to help the people at the level that meets them properly and fully. And the other challenge is that, like, I know people are scared about missing out because there are uncertainty, and that is the nature of things like that. When you have such a massive overhaul, the NDIS is a really massive thing. When you have a massive overhaul, no one can actually give you details, the kind of granular details that people want today to be reassured that they are not going to miss out, cannot be supplied at this particular point in time, because we got to at least wait until the state and territories all need to come on board, and then they will meet and they will talk about things, they will sort it out, and then gradually we will have more announcement that okay, these people, we're taking this away, but we're going to give you this is not going to be available for all people, but then there will be this thing that will be available for the people who that one no longer captures. So unfortunately, these things all need time to work out, and it's unrealistic to expect that kind of granular detail so soon. And unfortunately, also, the people need that kind of reassurance that cannot be provided at this stage, and it's just the nature of such a massive undertaking, and it's a good undertaking. We want to make sure everyone gets looked after in the best way possible, and details will come. Hang in there, people, and I hope they really can get it sorted. It is a good scheme. We also need adjacent things that are one scheme can't possibly capture everybody. We need sort of different level of care for different people, just the same as how you have different specialty in medicine. You know, one doctor can look after all your mental health, your women's health, your digestive health. One doctor can't do it all. You need a team. So we hopefully they're going to build a nice good team for us, so everybody gets good healthcare. We do have good healthcare here in Australia, and yeah, changes are hard, and there will always be people who play politics in this situation. Yeah, anyhow, that is just some of my thoughts about that, and yeah, happy to chat about it, and we shall return to regular scheduled programming next time. See ya.